everyone, welcome to Watercolor Wednesday. I am Bonnie Krebs, creator of Watercolor the Art Impressions Way, and this week's project is from a request I had about a week ago from Linda, and she suggested that I make a porch swing using the bench, and I just thought that was a great idea. I've never tried that. I've never thought of that, Linda, and so thank you. That's a great idea, and guess what? It really works, and it's super easy to do. So I used the bench on this example here, and you can see it looks really small because I used a larger animal. So this little cat is from the cat set, but you can change that perspective. So you can see here I used a smaller little character by using this little bird, and you can see how much bigger that bench is. Also, the size of the ropes that hold it up, you can see this is way smaller, and so it changes that perspective quite a bit. I also tried using just the bottom of the bench and created this little swing. So that was a really good idea, and lots of great ideas to do that. So thank you for that, Linda, and I hope you like this project. So I'm going to show you how to put this one together. We're going to put this little critter on here, and we're going to need a few things. So we're going to need the bench to start out with. We're going to ink this, but we're going to leave the legs off of it. So we're going to create this little swing using the bench. So we're also going to use this little cat, the little sleeping one. Now this is the large one. So if you want that larger bench and you have this little set, you can use the little one or any of these little critters and put those on the bench. We are also going to use the branches. So from the branches set, this one right here. In the flower card set, so I'm using this long stem, but you can use any long stem that you have. That's not important that you use this specific one. I just chose that one because I haven't used it in a long time, so I do love that one. In the foliage set, so this is the second foliage set too, we're going to use the ivies, the right and the left. And then in our foliage set, so the favorites, the vine, and the two grasses, we're going to use all three of those. So let's get going on that little porch swing, and we're going to start out with a cat. So we're going to stamp this first, and I'm also going to show you how to add this little cushion onto here. So we're going to do a little freestyle art on here. So we're going to draw this in, but I'm going to show you how to do it. And so we're going to add this little pillow onto the bench. Super, super easy to do. Don't be intimidated by this part. Okay, so we're going to start out by inking the cat, and I'm using sepia. And I'm just going to stamp it in the center of my paper. Actually, probably a little bit closer to the bottom. So just like that. Stamp that in, and now we're going to add our little pillow, and I'm just going to use a nickel. So I like tracing around things. It just makes it easier for me, and a nickel is about the right size. So I'm just going to take a pencil now and just lay it right next to this little cat. So actually the bottom of the nickel is about flush with the bottom of the cat, and then just trace around it. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's good enough. And then we're going to put just a little button in here, and then maybe a couple of little creases so that it looks like the little cat is sleeping right on that pillow. So super, super easy to do. And now we're going to take our fine tip of the sepia, and we're just going to go around this line. So just kind of draw this in very lightly, so not too dark. So we're just going to use this as a pattern. And then we're going to use put this little button in, and then the little crease in there like that. Okay, also we want to be sure to darken the eyes on the little cat. That's always a first. And make that really darker. You can see how that really pops that little face out. The eyes are always really important in these little characters. Okay, so that looks pretty good. The next thing we're going to do now is cover those two things up. So I've cut a mask. And I just cut this out of a Post-it note. And I did the same with the nickel. So I just traced this on a Post-it note just so that I could cover this little area up here. Just like that. So I can cover that whole thing. And now we're going to stamp the little bench over the top. So I'm going to use my positioner. I want to make sure that I get this in the right place. And then I'm going to ink this bench, and I'm going to ink it in two colors. So the African Violet first, and remember we're leaving the legs off. So we're only using the top part of the bench. So we're going to create a swing, and we do that by leaving the legs off. And just ink this whole thing up here. And if you get a little bit of the legs on there, it's okay. We can just wash that out. So don't stress out about that too much. And then I'm going to come back over it now with the sepia. So just the bench part, not the legs. And then I'm going to place my little acrylic shield right into that L bar and stamp this right into the corner. So just like that. And now I can place my little cat here right in the center. And I am going to place it right here. I've got the edge of that little bench, so I want to make sure that I don't have him stamped over the top of that. And I'll put him right in the center. So just about like this. And then huff on that bench and then stamp that back in here. You don't have to re-ink that. Okay, so now I can remove my mask from the cat and from that little pillow. And I've got my little guy on the bench. Okay, so let's go on to the next step and let's go ahead and pull the color out of the lines. So in the sample, I just created a little Siamese cat here, but you can add whatever color you want to. Maybe you're a cat owner and you have you want to do your own coloring on your own cat. So you can certainly do that, add whatever colors you want on here. A Siamese cat is really, really easy to do. They're super simple and they don't require a lot of color. So it's hard to mess them up. So if you're not sure, this is a really easy one to start out with. So I'm pulling the color out of the lines, just dragging it out like this. You want to keep the face light, even though we're going to add some color to the little nose area. You don't want to add any color where the eyes are. So even though we're darkening this area in, I'm still leaving us a little white area around the eyes. So really, really important that we do that. Let's add a little more color now to the palette. So this is sepia, and we're going to just darken this little tail in. I'm going to add a little more water now to this and darken the little tail, leave a little highlight on the top so you don't color in all solid, and then get his little ears in. Ears are always dark. And this area where the face is. So they've got a little dark face. Sometimes they have a little dark color on their backs as well, but you get the idea that this is a little Siamese cat. So super, super easy to do these. And they brush on really, really quickly. Okay, so let's add some color now to that little pillow, and we're gonna pull the color out of the lines. So the shadow is going to be on the bottom. It's gonna be the darkest area down on the bottom, and we're gonna see a highlight at the top. So we don't wanna get that too much color up in here. And I'm just using a bright orange. This is just orange, and putting it on my palette, but you can make this little pillow whatever color you want. So start out with it light and just brush the color in. Like I said, it's going to be darker on the bottom, and make sure you leave the highlight on the top. Make sure you see that there's light catching that pillow. That's just going to create way more dimension that way. Let it dry for a little bit and then do another coat. And just brush this in. This is so fun to do and super easy. The more passes that you make, the darker it's going to get. So you're going to get more and more color on here as you go. I'm going to use my fine tip now and really darken in this little button. So I'm adding some more color in here like that. And I'm just going to go over these little crease lines with my marker. And then as soon as that's dry, I'm going to actually add a little more color to my palette. And then just make a little decorative accent here. And I'll just add to your composition. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's go on to the little bench. And I'm going to leave the bench mostly white. So that means I'm going to pull this blue out of the lines. And on this little seat, you know where the cat is, that's going to be the darkest area. So I want to really make sure we show that that's There's a lot of color on there. Under here, this is going to be darker. And then just kind of work your way around. You can pull some of this color from the cat and from the pillow. You can pull some of this out onto the bench. And then in here on the side, this is going to be really dark. And under here, under this little overhang. So just kind of drag that color out. I'm going to add a little more blue now to my palette. So this is 86, so the African Violet. And my brush is pretty dry, and I'm just going to brush on a little more color here, especially to the seat of this little swing. Because it's not a bench anymore now that we've created a swing. And just put a little of this color on. Things are always better if they're not completely white. He would have a little shadow underneath him. So just keep, you know, adding a little bit of color. Let's take the fine tip now and really darken in these little corners where the boards are. It really adds a lot when you do that. You know, anywhere you think that it's going to be, you know, pretty dark, just take your fine tip and just kind of, you know, go over those lines a little bit. It's okay to do that. And under here. I think the more that you do these projects, the more confident you get to do stuff like this. Don't let this intimidate you. And then just pull this color out of the lines on here in these little corners. And we are about ready to move on to the next step. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and move on. We're gonna add some grasses and some foliage in here. And we're gonna do that with the large grass first. And I'm just gonna ink this in a green. So this is the number 72 pine green, but you can use whatever green that you want. And I'm just gonna stamp it in underneath here. So this little swing is up in the air. And we're just putting some foliage and some grasses and stuff around it. So that looks pretty good like that. I'm gonna go ahead and add some water to it now and just pull that color up and out. And just do it like we always do. This is the same way that we use this grass every time. And I think that's, you know, the fun thing about these projects is that, you know, the more you do them, the better at it you get because you're using the same stamps over and over again. These little grasses are just in everything. Okay, so I've got the grasses in here like this. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some of the vines now. So here's those little ivies. This is the right and the left. So I'm gonna ink these now with a different green. So I'm gonna take the number 15 now. And I'm just gonna put some of this in here. And a little bit behind the swing back in here. So this is not coming in front of the swing now. This is on the side and then back. So be careful that you don't stamp over the top. If you want to cut a mask just to make sure you're not stamping over the top of the swing, feel free to do that. And then dip your brush in water and pinch it off. And just dab. You can use any of your foliages for this. It doesn't have to be this particular one. So many of these things are interchangeable. So just because I'm using one specific thing, doesn't mean that you have to use that one. If you have a vine, it's going to work in here. Okay, so now I'm going to take some blue. So this is the number 17 steel blue. And I'm going to put some of this on my palette. And I'm going to brush in the sky. So I'm just going to really water this down and put this into the background. And just brush it in. Don't worry about this. Don't let the sky stress you out. And you can use any blue. I'm using the number 17. It's a warmer blue, but you can use any blue. You can mix blues too, depending on what kind of sky that you want. Let's put a little bit down in here also. And just keep brushing this on. I'm going to add a tree branch and some foliage in there. So I want to pull this blue clear up to the top. And you can mix a little bit in here to this foliage too. The more that you blend things, the softer they get. So if you like that really soft look, it's almost like a, like things just kind of fade out into the background, almost like a mystical look. If you like that, just keep blending and blending. Things will just get softer and softer. Okay, so let's go on to the next step, and we're going to do that by adding the branches into the background. So up above here, and we're going to ink this in 2 colors. So sepia first, and then 72 pine green. And I'm just going to create the illusion that there are branches and trees in the background. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this swing is hanging off of this particular branch, but it means that there are branches and trees that are in the area. Okay, so I've got that stamped in there, and now I'm going to come back in with my foliage. So this is the vine, and I'm going to use that number 72. And I think I'm going to turn my paper so that I can do it better this way. And I'm just inking the top of the vine, so not the whole thing. And I'm just going to stamp this in here a bunch of times, so just like this. If you can see how I'm just inking the very top of this. And we're just creating the idea that there are branches and trees in the background. And maybe we've got one coming this direction. So that looks pretty good. You can always come back in and add more once you add water to it, and it looks like maybe I need to fill in a little area. Actually, now that I turn it around, I can see that I need to add just a little bit more in here. Let me move this back up. Looks like I need just a little bit more in this area. So now I can add my water to it. So I'm dipping my brush now, pinching it off, and just dabbing. And you'll see that the brown, you know, that sepia that we mixed into the branches, that's going to kind of come out now. And we'll get a really nice blend of color in here. So I didn't add any water to the branches when I first stamped them. So I'm adding water now once I've got the leaves and the vines in here. And I could just get a really nice mix of color. And just keep working your way around till you get all these leaves and branches blended out. You can blend this as much as you want. Remember, you're not using a brush stroke, so you're not brushing anything like this. You're not brushing these leaves down. You're just dabbing. So make sure your hand is flat on the table, and you're just jumping your brush around and softening these lines. You're softening the lines that you just stamped. Super easy. And fun, so fun. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to add just a little more color now to this bench, just because I really like that color of the sky. And I kind of want to add just a little more color in here. And you can do that after the fact. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in our long stem flowers. And I'm just going to use the number 86. Don't overdo it with the color. I think I say that in every video, but don't overdo it with the color. Don't get too much color going on in here, especially in the blooms, you know, in the florals, because you can overwhelm your little composition really easily by adding too much color in here. So I used the number 86 and the stem, and you can use any green here. And I actually only colored a few of these, so I don't need this big, huge, long stem. So I've only inked about 3 of these little blooms. So really subtle. And I'll ink it again. So just these on the right hand side here. And maybe just a couple more in the background, like this. And then dip your brush, pinch it off, and then just dab. And you can see when you add water to these things, it just changes the shape of these little flowers, so you can't tell that it's stamped, and that's what we're going for. You don't want it to look like it's stamped. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's add a little of the tiny grass in now behind here. So we're going to kind of continue this grass line back behind. And then maybe bring it over on this side. And then just add water. And we're going to have a shadow underneath here, so we want to be sure and show that, because this little swing is off the ground, so we want to see that shadow in here. So this is going to be dark. So this is number 86, and just put a stroke of blue in here. That will do it. That will show that. That will show that shadow underneath there. Okay, so one last thing to do, and that is to attach our ropes to our little swing. And don't be intimidated by this. It's super easy to do. So the first thing you want to do is take your fine tip of your sepia and draw 2 little circles. So on the sides right here, 2 little circles, and then a dash. So a dash is going to be right here and right here. So just on the front of the swing. These actually are circles, but because of the angle, they would not be a circle like this. They're just going to be a dash. That's all you're going to see. And then your little ropes are going to be seen underneath. So just make a little half circle underneath here. Okay, so just like that. Now we're going to take our ruler, and we're going to draw a line straight up from this little hole right here. So straight up, past the branch. You know, actually this branch is too small to hold the swing, and so we want to show that this is in the background. So we're bringing the swing in front of this branch. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. So just make sure that's straight and bring that down. So just like that. And then we're going to connect this one about a half inch up from the swing. So we're going to draw this line now from the little dash to here. So just like that. And then about the same distance over here. And don't stress out like this if it's not perfect. It's okay. We're just showing that we've got these little ropes here. And depending on how big these ropes are, will determine how big your swing is. So if the ropes are really wide, and you can see on mine, I actually made double lines. So this makes this look way smaller. And then using this larger character on here also makes this little swing seem way smaller. And then changing that out, you can see these lines are smaller. And so when you're doing this one, you're just going to do 2 holes right here, connect them, and then draw that line straight up. So super, super easy to do. This one too, you can see here and here, these are small lines and a small little character on here, so that makes the bench bigger. So you can change that perspective really easily just by how you do these lines and the type of character that you're putting onto this little swing. So one thing left to do, the last thing, and that is to sign and date. And I hope you try this project. It was really fun to do. Thank you for that suggestion, Linda, and I hope you try this project. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this project, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you all next week.